Well, hello everyone. My name is Zwigo and today I'm bringing you the Can You Beat Pokemon Emerald with each gym leader's worst Pokemon. First and foremost though, I didn't want to do this run this week because I had another villain team video planned. I played through the entire game as a Team Plasma Grunt, and then once I started editing the footage I saw that most of it was corrupted, so I played through the game for nothing. My whole week was wasted. This seems to happen every time I try to record a DS game, so I bought myself a new Elgato, so hopefully that issue will be fixed. So as a last resort I recorded this video and I had to work the entire weekend. I literally didn't have any free time to do anything else, so if you guys could leave a like, that would be really appreciated. Also, this video was inspired by williamxswift, who has done this run multiple times but with the gym leader's best Pokemon, so mine should be a little bit more challenging. Here is the team. I basically went with the gym leader's worst Pokemon, or the lowest level ones. If two Pokemon had an equal level, I would just choose the worst one of those in my opinion. So our first Pokemon is Roxanne's Geodude. The second one we had to choice between Machop or Meditite, but I went with Machop because Psychic types are pretty OP to be honest. Third is Electrike, Watson's worst Pokemon. I could have gone for Voltorb, but Electrike is just a little bit worse in my opinion because of the speed. In fourth place we have ourselves Flannery's Numel. I could have gone for Slugma, but Numel's weaknesses are just way worse than Slugma's. Fifth is Spinda, that's clear. Sixth is Swablu, which we'll probably not use because our next Pokemon, Xatu, is a way better flying type. And last up is Lovedisk, who we won't be able to get until we reach Victory Road, but definitely better than the most of our team members. I haven't done this in a while, but here are the rules. Rule number 1, of course, only the Pokemon I just mentioned in battle. Rule number 2, this run wouldn't be possible without any HM slaves, so thick boy, Wailmer will be our proud companion. Rule number 3, if the Pokemon isn't evolved in the gym leader's team, we can't evolve them either. And fourth and foremost, we won't be able to use any items in battle and also no held items. With this long intro out of the way, let's get right into it guys. We start off by naming ourselves Zwigo and we head straight to Professor Birch. He's being attacked by a level 2 Zigzagoon guys, level 2. And we're gonna start our journey off with Geodude. The Pokemon in the first few areas mostly know Tackle, so that is not very effective against our Geodude, so we shouldn't have any problems early on. We go back to the lab and name our Geodude Rocks. Time for our first rival fight with May, but her Mudkip only knows Tackle, so we just take her down pretty easily. We skip through the forest and the capture tutorial and all that stuff, and we go straight to Roxanne's gym. Because Geodude actually levels pretty fast and I defeated all of the trainers up until this point, our Geodude is actually level 16, which means that it had access to Magnitude, and this just swept her entire gym. Her Pokemon couldn't touch my Geodude and my Magnitude was doing too much damage for her to deal with it. First gym badge acquired, that was pretty easy, but don't expect this to get any easier. Before we have to go to Pewter City, we have to do a few more things. We go ahead and save Pico from the Team Aqua member, and then we go ahead and challenge May. I know this battle is optional, but I think this could be challenging, so I'm gonna add it in. Her Torkoal is a one-shot, and Mudkip does hit us with a water gun, leaving us with only 8 HP. That was pretty lucky to be honest, and 1 Magnitude takes it down. After defeating her, we swim straight to Dewford Town because Mr. Briny already left without us, sadly enough. We almost drowned, but we got to the cave and Steven is there waiting for us. We give him the letter and he tells us that we are going to be a great trainer one day. Best believe I'm gonna be a great trainer. You don't think so? Come at me, bro. Come at me. Okay, with that shenanigans out of the way, we head straight to Sleeport City to go ahead and clear the museum from the Team Aqua attack. That wasn't really too hard, we sweep their entire team with Geodude pretty easily, and then we head straight to the next route where we can catch ourselves our second party member, Electrike. We name it What, and we go ahead and take out all the trainers on Slateport Beach. We then go to Brawly's gym to challenge him. Machop goes down in 1 Magnitude and so does Meditite. Last up is Makihita, and we kill that thing with just 2 Magnitudes after it sets up a bulk up. Second gym badge is ours so that we can head on with our journey. And here's a little bit of a wall guys, we have to beat May. again. I know, crazy, right? She has a Marshtomp now, and that thing one-shots my Pokemon. He one-shots Geodude with a single water gun and Electrike with a mud shot, so we have to level up quite a bit until we can beat her. I had to probably try this battle like 10 to 12 times, but eventually we did get the run that we need. Her first Pokemon is Lombre, which does occasionally give us trouble as well, so we Thunder Wave it and then we set up a few howls and hit it with a few quick attacks. We managed to get it into red health, but then he takes us out. We send in rocks and finish it off with a rock throw, but then the Marshtomp comes out. We get so lucky right here, we survive with 1 HP and we get a magnitude 10 to take out the Marshtomp. Last up is our Slugma, but that thing is no match for our Geodude. 1 rock throw and it is outta here. With May defeated, we have to go ahead and challenge Watson, but as you may expect, Watson isn't really a challenge for us because we have Geodude. We basically swept his entire team with magnitude. We were never really in any danger, so yeah, we just magnitude his whole team and we got him, boys. We got that 3rd gym badge. After that easy peasy gym battle, we can get ourselves our 3rd member, Numel. And this is going to be named Flan, after Flannery of course, and she will be a pretty useful team member later on. We head straight to Meteor Falls to meet up with Team Aqua, but here something bad happened. My footage for the Maxi fight corrupted at Mount Chimney, so yeah. But there was no problem, we just swept his entire team. After this first encounter with Archie, we go ahead and capture ourselves a Spinda and we name it Norm, and we also catch ourselves a Swablu who we name Wino. Swablu won't be used very frequently because he will be replaced by Xatu later on. Straight to Flannery's gym and it all goes pretty well. We one-shot the Slugma, we one-shot the Camerupt, we one-shot the Boom Boom Boom, we one-shot all of them. Easy peasy lemon squeeze, but then we get to the Torkoal, the goddamn Torkoal, and he overheats my entire team, guys. It's not fair, guys, it's not fair. But after that loss, we head back straight away. This time with the intention to win though. I go with a different strategy this time. I decide to go ahead and set up some rollouts. We set up one and then we miss, and then we set up another one and we take down the Numel. Slugma comes in and our powered up rollout actually takes it out pretty easily. Camerupt comes out and he hits us with the biggest overheat, so we hit it with a rollout, leaving him with a slither of health. He then heals up and then one more rollout takes it down. I thought we were dead again, but we managed to outspeed the Torkoal and our final rollout takes it down and we get ourselves the 4th gym badge. Norman is a different kind of enemy though. I know that Machop is super effective against him, but he's just a little bit too low level to beat him on his own. But Slacking is just way too OP for the rest of my team. On our first attempt, the Vigoroth actually sweeps half of my team before we can get to Slacking. Our Geodude manages to learn Earthquake, but it isn't enough and Slacking takes down our whole team. We then lose a few more times before the winning run. His first Pokemon is a Spinda who manages to hit Brawl with a Psybeam, but a Revenge takes it down. We go into Rocks to Earthquake it, but first we have to get hit by a Feint Attack. We take it down into Red Health and then he heals up. We do that again and he heals up again, and then hits us with another Feint Attack before we can take him down with 2 more Earthquakes. Next up is Slacking, so I decide to switch in Wino to take a hit and then switch into another Pokemon on the Truant ability. We get off a free Thunder Wave with our Electrike and then we hit it with a Spark. Electrike gets taken down and the rest of our team is ready to do some chip damage. We finally managed to get it down into Orange Health, and then the rest of our team except for Geodude is dead. He heals up with his Citrus Berry, but our Earthquake crits, taking the Slacking down. That was lucky. Last up is his Lanoon, and I know this thing cannot hurt us, so we hit it with 2 Earthquakes to take it down and win ourselves the 5th gym badge. Nothing really happens anymore, so we skip straight to the battle with May after the Weather Institute. Her first Pokemon is Lombre, but our Electrike wants revenge. 4 Sparks and it's down. Next up is Marshtomp, and I really don't have anything good for this, so I switch into Norm. I put it to sleep with Hypnosis and then start hitting it with Dizzy Punch. It doesn't make up anymore, so 3 Dizzy Punches take it down. Slugma, like always, really isn't a threat, so we take it down with a Magnitude from Numel. She gives us the Fly Gem, which we will teach to Xatu later, and we head on to the 6th gym led by Winona. I feel like Watch is really going to shine in this gym. The first Pokemon, Swablu, goes down with 2 Sparks, easy peasy. Next up is the evolved form Altaria, and I know this thing has Earthquake, so I switch into Geodude. She sets up a Dragon Dance and I hit it with a rollout. She then sets up another one and then I hit it with another rollout and she goes for Earthquake. We manage to survive, she heals up and one more rollout takes it down. Tropius is next and I decide to stay in. Luckily it goes for a solar beam and we can go ahead and take it down with another rollout. Finally our carnage comes to an end because Pelipper takes us down with a water gun. Pelipper then tries to avoid the inevitable. God, I can't speak sometimes. But we do manage to take it down with a spark. Last but not least is Skarmory, so I hit it with a spark and he then hits us with a sand attack. We don't miss our spark and then we get ourselves the 6th gym badge. Damn, I'm on a rollout, guys. Haha, get it? Ooh, I will shut up. I then go ahead and capture myself a Natu and I name it Taser. No, not like Taser, like Tate and Liza. But he is shockingly good though. It's only one level away from evolving, so we go ahead and do that real quick because we need a Zadu, not a Natu, and it's time to fight May again. She starts off with her Tropius and I start off with my Numel. I start hitting it with a few embers and we manage to get a burn off. Eventually she switches out into Marshtomp, who takes me down with a takedown. Hey, jokes. So we'll go into Taser to take it down with a fly and 2 Nightshades. Ludicolo is up next. I hit it with a fly but he survives. He hits me with an S and we are left with only 2 HP left. One more fly takes it down though. Slugma is a pushover like always, just 2 flies and that thing flies off the screen. And of course Tropius really isn't that much of a problem anymore because we burned it and we already damaged it more than enough for Zatu to take it down with one single fly. We go to the top of Mount Pyre. Wait, this isn't the bingo club. We get ourselves the magma emblem and we head back to Mount Chimney to go ahead and stop Maxie's evil plans. Groudon shoots off into space like always and we go ahead and fight him. Sadly enough our Pokemon were damaged already because of the whole hideout and we get taken out by Camerupt, which is really sad because now we have to run through that whole volcano once again and it was so hot and I didn't bring any water and I almost fell in the lava, guys. I literally risked my life for you guys, so you better smash like right now. Onto our second attempt and we started off with Machop, which is the clear choice right here. He hits us with a Swagger, raising our attack by 2 stages and sadly enough we hit ourselves in our confusion. Next turn he hits us with a takedown, leaving us with 10 HP left, but our revenge hits, taking it down. Next up is the annoying Crobat, so I switch into Rocks to hit it with a rollout. But we get flinched and we can only get off 1 rollout before we get taken out. We switch into Watt and hit it with a Spark, but we get confused. As we try to go for our second Spark, he switches out Crobat for Camerupt, which totally blocks that Spark because he's immune to it. I switch into Taser, predicting the Earthquake here, and I was right. We just spam Nightshade until the cows come home and eventually Camerupt takes us down because he uses a lot of super potions. We switch into Flan, but he gets taken out immediately by an Earthquake, so we go into Norm to put the Camerupt to sleep and take it down with 2 Dizzy Punches. Crobat comes out again and then I hit it with 2 Dizzy Punches to take it down and win ourselves the battle against Maxie. Clearing out the Team Aqua hideout was pretty quick, so we head straight to the 7th gym, led by the Enders of Dreams, Tate and Liza. They are challenge runners' worst nightmare. At first I thought that it was not going to be a problem at the level that we were at, but then I realized real quickly after trying about 20 times that it wasn't possible. So I grinded my whole team up to level 45 and even then it didn't seem possible, so I went back to Mount Pyre to pick up the TM for Shadow Ball and teach that to Zatu. The run right after we picked up the TM for Shadow Ball, we actually won straight away. I have no idea if this is because of the Shadow Ball TM or if we were just extremely lucky. I decide to split my attacks 2 ways, so I Shadow Ball the Claydol and put Zatu to sleep with Hypnosis. We do get hit with an Earthquake, but that is no problem. We get a crit with Shadow Ball, taking out the Claydol, and then Lunatone comes out. We miss our Hypnosis, and next turn we get taken out with a Psychic, and we do hit the Zatu with a Shadow Ball. I Shadow Ball the Zatu one more time, and then go ahead and use Thunder on the Lunatone. We managed to paralyze it, which is great, and she gets paralyzed straight away. We hit it with a Shadow Ball, leaving it with a sliver of health, and we crit Thunder against the Soul Rock, which takes it out. She heals up with her Citrus Berry, and one last Shadow Ball takes down the Lunatone. 7th gym match acquired, time to head on to the Space Center. We get to team up with Steven for the first and only time in this game, which is great because it's my favorite champion. And this battle goes on for way too long, so I'm not going to be narrating this. I'm actually going to take this opportunity to put a link here, guys. You can follow me on Twitter, link in the description, where I post random stuff about me playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon and stuff like that. You can check it out in the description. And if you want to contact me or anybody else in the community, want to chat with us, there is also a Discord, link will be in the description as well. After this stupid plug, we randomly teleported to Archie and he wants to fight us straight away somehow. His first Pokemon is a Mytiena who goes down in a few Nightshades, no problems there. Crobat is up next, so I switch into Watt to take it down with a Thunder and a Spark, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Last up is Sharpedo, so I hit it with a Spark, but his Rough Skin ability takes us down after he hits us with a Slash. Brawly finishes it off with one last Vital Throw. Team leader is defeated, and you know what that means. That means that Kyogre has to fly into space as well and fight with Groudon. We arrive in Setupala City and yes, there they are, fighting over land and water once again. Great guys, you are really mature. So we have to go to Joe. Who's Joe, you might ask? Joe Mama. No, we're just gonna go to Rayquaza real quick and fix this. He shouts at them and then they go away back to where they came from and we can move on with our lives. And with moving on, I mean challenging the 8th gym led by number Juan. I forgot again how annoying Kingdra is with double team, but eventually after a few tries we do manage to get the good run. First off is Love Disc, so I hit it with a Thunder, taking it out really easily. Next up is Wishcash and 2 double edges take that thing down, but we also take ourselves down in the process. Next up is Celio, so we switch back into Watt, hit it with a Thunder, taking it down as well. Because of the Rain Dance, we can never miss our Thunder, so Groudon also goes down with one of those. Last up is his annoying Kingdra, so I Thunder Wave it so that the rest of my team can outspeed it. We managed to get off a Thunder as well, but with 2 Water Pulses take down our Electrike. We switch into Brawl, hit it with a Cross Chop, get a crit, take it down, get the last gym badge, and we can head on to the league. Psych, first we have to do some fishing. Oh, come on, yeah, bite the bite. Oh my god, I've been here for hours, please! Finally, we got it, we got it. So we capture ourselves that Love Disc pretty easily and we catch it with a Master Ball because we're cool. We name it Juan because he's our number Juan. And now it's time for our final battle before we have to face the Elite Four. It's Wally again. Wally, that guy that never appears in this game. Great, thank you Game Freak. We start off with Watt and we hit it with a Thunder, a Spark, and another Thunder to take down the Altaria. Next up is Delcatty, which hits us with a big Psychic, but 1 Cross Chop takes it down. Gardevoir is no match for Xatu, 2 Shadow Balls, and we take that thing out as well. Magneton goes down with a single Flamethrower, and last up is Roselia. I thought that we could take it down with a Flamethrower, but a Giga Drain and a Future Sight hit us, which takes us down. So we switch it to Xatu to finish the job with a Fly. Before we challenge the Elite Four though, we have to do one more thing. We go ahead and pick up the TM for Ice Beam and teach it the Love Disc, because that's the thing that we really need to beat Drake. After picking up that TM, we go straight into the Elite Four after I grinded up my team to level 50. First Pokemon is Mytiena and I start off with Machop to take it down with a Revenge and a Vital Throw. Next up is Shiftry, so I switch into Xatu to hit it with a Fly. It doesn't take it out and we get confused. We then hit it with a Nightshade, but it lives with literally 1 health. He heals back up and we miss a few times because of the double teams, but eventually we get a crit with Flight, which takes down the Shiftry. Cacturne comes out and because we got that attack buff because of Swagger, we take that thing down with a Fly as well. Next up is Absol, so I decide to switch into Matchup and try and hit with a Cross Chop, but he goes ahead and goes for an Aerial Ace, which takes us down. I switch into Flan and I manage to hit it with 1 Earthquake before we get taken out. Norm is up next, so I go ahead and double edge it and we get a critical hit to take down the Absol. 1 more Pokemon to go, which is Groudon, and Watt makes short work of him with 1 single Thunder. First Elite Four member down, time for Phoebe, but she is way harder. We can barely hit her with any moves, so she takes us down multiple times. It's mostly Nuclear Dusclopses, which are the problem because they drain your moves with their ability Pressure, which is really annoying. They also like to set up Protects and Curses and stuff like that. Sableye has no weakness, which is also pretty annoying. But even after all of these factors, we still managed to take her down after a few tries. On this run, I accidentally started off with the wrong Pokemon, my Chop. I do manage to hit it with an Earthquake as she sets up a Curse, taking her into red health. And I know that she's going to heal up here, so I send in my Spinda. After 2 annoying Protects, we managed to confuse it with a Teeter Dance. Then 2 more Feint attacks, because one of them was a crit actually, and the Dusclops goes down. Next up is a Banette who burns us, but 3 Feint attacks do take it down because Feint attack is special in this game. Next up is Sableye, and I do manage to get it under half health with a few Feint attacks, but we get taken out. And it also had set up a few double teams, so our Numeld goes down as well because we can't hit a flamethrower. I switch into Juan and one Surf takes it down. The second Banette takes out our Electrike after we hit it with a Spark and paralyze it. We switch into Teza, hit it with a Shadow Ball, but it lives with literally 1 health, so she heals up. We then get a crit with Shadow Ball, taking down the Banette. Last up is Dusclops, so I hit it with a Confuse Ray, and then go for a Shadow Ball. It barely does any damage, so I think that Nightshade might do better. I go for a Nightshade, leaving it with literally 3 HP, and we get taken out with a Shadow Ball. And as always, Juan has to finish off the Dusclops with 2 more Surfs. Glacia was no problem at all. First try and we win immediately. Our first Pokemon is a Celio who goes down with a single Cross Chop. Next up is Glalie, so I go ahead and hit it with a Cross Chop after we get hit with a big ass Ice Beam. Another dead Celio comes out because Cross Chop just obliterates it, and another Glalie comes out taking us down with another Ice Beam. I send in my Numel, go for a Flamethrower, but Glalie explodes in our faces, taking itself and me down. Last up is the thick boy Wilmer, and we hit it with a Thunder Wave and then with a Thunder doing amazing damage, but we get taken out with a Body Slam and a Surf. We switch into Norm, confuse it with Teeter Dance, and then we go ahead and hit it with a Double Edge, taking it into 1 HP range, and then he hits himself in confusion, taking himself down. Crazy luck right there. Drake also wasn't really that hard, although we did lose on our first try, but our second try I knew what to do, so we easily won that one. The first Pokemon is Shelgon, who loves to stall with Protect, so I go ahead and hit it with a few Seismic Tosses. After 3 of those, he is down and out. Next up is Altaria, so I switch into Norm and 2 Double Edges take it down because my second one was a crit. Kingdra is up next, so I paralyze it with a Thunder Ray from Electrike, and we get taken out with 2 Surfs after we hit it with 2 more Sparks. I go into Norm, hit it with a Double Edge, but it survives, so he heals up with a full restore. I confuse it with Teeter Dance and switch into Teza to hit it with 3 Nightshades after he hits itself Confusion. Flygon is up next, so we manage to hit it with 2 more Nightshades before we get taken out with a Crunch. We switch into Juan to hit it with an Ice Beam, take it down. Last up is Salamence. We Ice Beam it, it gets frozen solid. Really lucky right here. 1 more Ice Beam and Salamence is down. With the Elite 4 out of the way, we only have 2 major battles left, Wallace and Steven. But first up is Wallace, and oh boy did this fight take me multiple hours to defeat. Just like always, Wallace gives me a hard time. I have no idea why, but his Pokemon, his team is just so well built. It can even take down his weakness, which is electric types. He has Pokemon like Whiscash, Gyarados who all know Earthquake, so electric types really don't affect it that much. And if that isn't enough, he also has a Ludicolo, which can tank a lot of hits, and Milotic, who is beefy and bulky as heck, and it hits like a truck too. At first I tried at the levels where I was at, so 52 and above, but that didn't work out. I tried easily over 20 to 30 times, but I can't manage to defeat him. I managed to find 3 rare candies throughout my run, and I gave those to Electrike, so he's now level 55, but even then it wasn't possible. He just wasn't high enough. He couldn't one-shot Wailord, he couldn't one-shot Tentacruel, it wasn't good enough. And on top of that, 2 of my Pokemon actually didn't have full health because I didn't bring enough full restores. So you guys know what that means, right? I had to run through the Elite Four once again, which was so tedious to do. It took me a lot of attempts to get me back here, but it did manage to level up a few of my Pokemon again, which is good. Even with my whole team at full health, this wasn't easy, believe me. I also teached Xatu Aerial Ace and spin the Shockwave and Calm Mind to make my chances of winning even greater. And finally, after a few more attempts, we managed to do it. His first Pokemon, Wailord, always lives with a slur of health because of thunder. We do get the paralyze, he can't attack, and he heals up. We hit it with another thunder and the spark to take it down. Next up is Gyarados, and this was the luckiest fight ever because I hit it with a Sweet Kiss, confusing it, and he didn't hit us at all with an Hyper Beam. So eventually he takes himself down with the confusion and combined with that Ice Beam damage. Next up is Ludicolo, and we can easily take that thing down with 2 Aerial Aces. Tentacruel always makes the mistake of poisoning my matchup, and I do have Guts, so our attack gets buffed. We hit it with an Earthquake, taking it down in one shot. Wishcast is always a problem, so I switch into Norm to confuse it with Teeter Dance. I go ahead and hit it with a double edge and it hits itself in its confusion. We go ahead and double edge it again, but it hits itself again, which is so lucky, and we take it down. Next up is Milotic, and this thing can easily sweep my entire team, so I try to go for a Teeter Dance, but Surf takes us out. I switch into Brawl because I think that I can tank a Surf, and I was right. I live on 17 health, hit it with a big cross chop, but it does manage to get off his Citrus Berry. We then switch into Watt, and I decide to Thunder Wave it so that my other Pokemon can outspeed it if Watt doesn't take it out. We luckily get hit by Toxic, not by Surf, because else we would have been dead. And we hit our Thunder, we get the crit, because else Milotic would have survived, and we take it down, and we are the champion of the Hoenn League once again, guys. Nobody can take this man down, nobody except for Plonker Boy 900, god dang it. We go to the Hall of Fame, see our Pokemon for the last time, see that I have actually completed this game in under 22 hours this time, which is less than my last run, which is amazing. I did have to reset way more than on my last one. But it isn't over yet, we still have to beat up Steven. I tried this fight at level 55 until level 65 and I couldn't beat him, but I don't have any footage of this because I thought that I was recording, but I actually wasn't. Dumb me. So I had to try at level 70. This still took me a few tries, like only 3 or 4, but it wasn't too bad. The problem was his Metagross. He literally swept through my entire team on this run. After that loss, I knew what to do, so I went in again with the best strategy ever. His first Pokemon is Skarmory, who we take down with 2 Sparks after we get hit with the Toxic. Next up is Aggron, so I go ahead and switch in Juan to take it down with 2 Surfs because it wastes its turn setting up a Solar Beam. Cradily luckily goes down in 2 Cross Chops because he can give me a hard time too sometimes. And next up is Armaldo. I go for 2 Surfs to take it down after we get hit with the big Ancient Power. His Claydol is the most annoying Pokemon though. We do hit it with a few Nightshades and Confuse Rays, and we get it down into orange or red health, and he would heal it up with a full restore. He did this 4 times. 4 times. I was just sitting here spamming Nightshade, Confuse Rays, Nightshade, Confuse Ray, Nightshade, Confuse Ray, and eventually after like 5 minutes of this, he went down. Next up is Metagross. He goes for a Meteor Mash, which leaves our Norm with 1 HP, and we do get off the Teeter Dance, which is great. I hit it with a Shockwave, and then he takes us out with an Earthquake. I send out Watt to hit it with a Thunder Wave so that the rest of my team can outspeed him. I go into Teza to confuse him and hit it with a Nightshade, but then we go down to 1 Meteor Mash. I switch into Love Disc, hit it with a critical Surf, and then we get taken out with 1 Psychic. He is out of full restores because he wastes all of them on Claydol. So we switch in Flan to take him down with a Flamethrower. Nice, we have conquered Emerald once again. Definitely my favorite game of all time. This run wasn't too hard, but there were certain battles that were really hard actually, like the Wallace battle and the Phoebe battle and the Tate and Liza battle as well, can't forget that one, but we managed to get through it. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and as always people, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'm Zwigo, and I'll see you guys next time.